All right, you're live.
All right, hey guys, how you doing? It's the Honeydew Carpenter and the always beautiful Mrs. Honeydew Carpenter. This is our Saturday live show, and should we give people a minute to get on? Because it seems like for some reason, when we put these notifications out, there's always a 1 to 5 minute delay or whatnot. But no, let's just go ahead. They can go back and watch the thing as it goes. But anyways, guys, we're really excited. We're gonna go ahead and release um, portions of the book. There are the few ending chapters I haven't got completely done, and we named this live "Vision Matters" for a reason. It's kind of as a metaphor. When I go to invent something, I have an idea, and I always begin with the end in mind, and I just kind of have a vision or a mental picture. Hey, cat, bump the camera. I have a mental picture of the end result, so I always begin with the end in mind, and then there's all these problems that get to be solved between the idea and moving forward to the end. And it doesn't matter, that principle applies in life for everything. If you don't have a vision, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have some idea of where it is you're going, you'll end up always looking backwards and thinking woulda, shoulda, coulda. And I look back and I look at this whole process of going forward with the light and portable rocket mass heating system. And I can always look back and say woulda, coulda, shoulda. I would have given myself more time. I would have, I would have understood that there would be all these roadblocks in the way that I didn't see from my vision of the end result and the beginning of the idea. But you know what? That's just life, and it doesn't happen that way. So I really, for two reasons, call this Vision Matters, because we are releasing the first several chapters where I go through, and the foreword is in there that is written by Julie of Dirt Patch Heaven, who originally came up with this idea. And then there is the introduction, how best to use this manual, and then we go into the actual building of it, and you'll get the first couple chapters of the actual building of it. Now, as you go through this, you guys are your vision is gonna no longer be cloudy. You're gonna be able to see how I've done this and how I've been able to accomplish putting this into a step-by-step DIY thing, because I broke the whole project down into 4 separate elements. And those 4 elements each one of those elements has 4 subcategories. And they're all in order. And then each one of those subcategories has multiple doable step-by-step DIY steps that when you actually read the forward and you read the introduction and you read the how best to use this manual, and then you read the first chapters on the build portion of it, even though the last few chapters and all the elements aren't in there, you're going to be able to begin to have your own vision and see the end result. And so I'm really excited about that.
There is one thing I would like to clarify. Yes, we are going to release the first couple chapters,
Yeah.
but not today and not even tomorrow. I just sent the pages to a really, really good friend of mine,
An editor.
and she needs time to edit it. Once that is complete, we will be releasing it. So I would say almost in another week. Okay?
Oh, okay. You want me? So she's good at understanding pitfalls and knowing how to give time out. But, well, that'll be good, because that'll give me some time to work on the next chapter and get all those drawings augmented and put in place. But guys, I think once you get the first half of the book or so, and you go through and you see how it's done, you're going to get really excited. You're going to start to build the first elements of the project, and you're going to look through it, and you're going to read through it, and you're going to go, wow, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody with that really wanted to put their mind to it could do it. So, okay.
William Craig says, a good morning worldwide, and thumbs up. Thank you, William Craig. DFW Michael says morning, so good morning.
Morning.
MT Pockets says, good morning. Smiley face from the North Pole. Ooh.
He's from North Pole, Alaska.
Wow.
I sent him a phone, mate.
That's so cool. Terry Oak says, good morning from Alaska. Good morning, Terry. Hope all is well with you guys in Alaska. Alan Ingalls says, good morning from Southeast Kansas. Glad to see you today. Hey, Alan. It's awesome to see all of you guys on this morning. Gal says, good morning, my buds. Good morning,
Awesome.
Gal. MT Pockets says, morning, Terry. Monzer says, good evening from Ammon, Jordan. Ammon? I probably said that wrong, but Jordan, wow. Good evening, then. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, he's on the other side of the
right
of the planet.
Yeah. All right, Beaver Creek Farm Life put our email, honeydewcarpenter1@gmail. So if you guys have questions, you can click that link and send us an email. He also put our Etsy link up there. So if you guys are interested in buying a foam mate or a recipe for Air Creek, you can go there.
And yeah, another thing on the foam mates is up until the week prior to Christmas, we're running them free shipping. And so if you've ever wanted one, this would be a good time to get one, because it saves you about, $30-$40.
Yeah, free shipping on our foam mate. Check it out. Beaver Creek Farm Life also put our web link up there, so you can go check out our website. And he also put our Teespring link up there. You guys can go buy a t-shirt or a coffee mug with our little logo on it. Beaver Creek Farm Life, he also says, good morning from Louisiana. Good morning. Ed says, good morning from Illinois. That's so cool. Fortis says, good morning from Rio, Greece.
Okay, so we have one from Jordan and now one from Greece. That's
right.
Awesome.
Backwoods Bungalow, Charles Dickens published some of his famous books by installment.
Really? I did not know that. That's so cool.
I didn't know that either. That is
so
cool.
You guys are going to get super excited when you get these first chapters, because I know that we had some people concerned about that, and they're like, I don't know, I hope I'll be able to do this. They pre-ordered it, and then their vision of seeing the end result. See, when we start, we show you an end result. Look at this stove. Look how well it works. This is awesome. And I installed at least enough confidence that you're like confident enough that I could put it down step by step, but you're wondering if you can do it too. And you know what? It's one thing to have like a vision and look at a picture of something, like an end result and some drawings, and know that there's all these elements in there. But it's another thing to see it drawn up like that, see each individual element drawn out, and then see them step by step go together. So just know that as you go through each step by step, all the other elements are taken out of the picture. And so when you go to build the burn chamber so that you can fold it up into the right shape, this is kind of what you're trying to achieve. And then you have the form that you're going to pour into to cast those blocks that you're trying to achieve. And when you see how that element is broken down into 4 subcategory elements, and they're all in order, and then each one is a completely doable DIY step, that people with a Sharpie marker and a T-square and that can do, if you can do a dot to dot, you can make this form. And I go through and I even give illustrations of all the commercially available parts and pieces. And I think it even has their prices and stuff, and they're really inexpensive to like build the form. And so as you go through and you see it step by step, I think you're going to be amazed. So you'll be excited about the next installment coming
And
out.
if you're a little bit overwhelmed, just take it one step at a time.
And I go into that as well. I talk a little bit in the introduction and how best to use the manual about learning new skills and understanding that there will be some setbacks, and that anytime you try and learn something new or do something new, there's some friction. There is some pushback, and people call it the learning curve. And so I talk a little bit about that and how to move through it and get over it. And as you go through and you see the step by step, I think it'll give you a lot of confidence on how to move through those setbacks and understand that you're learning something new. And what is going to end up happening is what ended up happening at Honeydew Carpenter University, which was a serendipitous thing, and I didn't foresee it or expect it, but everybody that left there with a sense that they just learned a new skill about how to bend and manipulate and fabricate and pop rivet together sheet metal. And then they started thinking about all these other things and shelving units and different things that they could build. And so you're going to be happy about it as you move through the process. All right.
Bear Post says, good morning from Wooster, Ohio. Well, good morning, Bear Post. Julia Faye says, hello from Allen Reed, Texas. Hello,
Awesome.
Julia. Michael says, hi ho, neighbor. Kenny Bean says, hey from East Washington. I hope
Hey,
Turkey
Kenny.
Day was great. Hope all is well too. Smiley face. Can't wait to hear the updates on the plans and Insiders Club. Smiley face. Thanks. Thank you, Kenny. It was awesome to hear. Doug Webb says, Luther, Texas is in the house. Still 20 carbs a day. Getting thin. Woohoo, Doug!
Awesome.
That was so awesome. Keep up the great work.
It's so much fun when you start on a journey like that. We started about a year ago, and I ended up losing about 45 pounds. And I think he said last week that he had lost 50 pounds doing the 20 carbs a day. And it's just a lot of fun, especially when you get to your goal weight and you just are kind of on a maintenance and you up them a little bit. And it's kind of weird. I still watch my weight real close, but it goes up a few pounds, and I'm like, oh, I better slow it down a little, and then down, and it just kind of. But you feel like you have the tools and the knowledge and the vision and the control that you are in control of the situation, and that's what I'm talking a lot about when it comes to vision. Sometimes when it comes to our weight or things, we think they're outside of our control, and we're always looking outside of our own selves for some reason or something, why it isn't going the way we wanted it to. But man, that's exciting to see that somebody else has figured that out.
And there is a learning curve with that of
There
what
is.
you can eat to stay under 20 carbs a day, because a lot of people are like, there's nothing to eat. I can't be on that diet. I'd starve. But we love the diet.
And we have found tons of things to eat, and things that we love, bacon, eggs, just.
Michael Mannix is from Connecticut. That's awesome. I love hearing where everyone's from.
Me too.
And everything's so cool. Video Bob says, hindsight is 2020. Yes. It is so much. William Kress says, sounds like the Honeydew Carpenter's DIY encyclopedia. set in the making.
And he put that in there, but that's not something out of the realm. You know, in 5, 10 years from now, I'll go through and probably catalog all the different DIY projects and that I've done and put them out eventually, you know, 10 years from now.
Craig G. Lewis says, step by step, day by day, smiley face. Yes,
Right.
so true, Craig. A guy in university says, hello, Melanie and Darwin. Sending love from North BC in the Peace Country. Wow.
Northeast British Columbia.
That's so cool. Thank you. Jeff Krupke says, good morning,
Hey,
Beaver
morning,
Creek
Jeff.
Farm Life. He says, please hit the thumbs up, you guys. Give us some thumbs up, please. Planning a pizza oven build with AC insulation for the dome. Doug, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, actually, that is really cool and awesome. Thanks for mentioning that.
MT Pocket from Alaska says, learning curve equals School of Hard Knocks. I've got a PhD for both.
You know what's funny though is I look at the end result now, and I go to like Julie's house, and I look at that stove, and I light it up, and I watch how well it works, and it just sucks hard, and it's just like I kind of envisioned it. And I realize all the setbacks and whatnot, and everything that we had to overcome to get from point A to point B, and it took us like over 2 years, and I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. It's that incredible to me because there was nothing out there like it on the face of the planet. And when you think about what you just said there, it's very important to understand that you can take some, you know, from someone else, and you can learn from them, and you can shave off all that learning curve and take their knowledge and their expertise, especially if they're willing to put it down and do a step by step, and then you can just you can do in a couple of weeks what it took them to do 2.5 years to do. And so understanding that kind of that knowledge blueprint and the ability to take specialized knowledge from someone else and accomplish something and just shave 10 years off of it will apply in every area of life, whether it's finances or your diet or goals in that area. And so this is, I think you're going to really like the book, especially when you get to read the introduction and stuff of it.
My 23-year-old son started keto for an autoimmune health condition in August. He lost 25 pounds. Bonus, he now needs to quit losing, but the health benefits have been amazing. Yes, health benefits are totally amazing, and he can still stay on keto. He just needs to up his ratio a little bit, and he'll quit losing his 20 carbs a day. Up it.
Yeah.
To like, don't go above 50 though, and hopefully, we love the health benefits of this diet. We really, really do.
The digestive benefits, the to our joints, the pain-free living. It's, you know, my low back issues. I haven't even been on my. I bought this inversion machine that would allow me to kind of stretch out my back. I haven't even been on it for over a year. It's crazy.
But yeah, so I am glad to hear that you guys have the health benefits from that too. Gail says, Darwin, you are incredible. Yes, you are. Earl's daughter says, love your videos. My husband and I are fellow carpenters, Finnish carpenters from Oklahoma. You guys have great hearts. Does our hearts good. Work hard and love even harder. Oh, I love that message. Thank you.
You know what? The fact that you guys are carpenters, that is a awesome, good foundation to build on your talent stack. And when I say talent stack, what I mean is all of us have little nuggets of experience throughout the course of our life. And if you understand how to put those nuggets together, as long as they complement one another, you can take and build a certain talent stack. It's like concrete engineering and stuff. That's what I did for a job. It wasn't something I loved. In fact, I didn't even really enjoy my job while I was doing it. There was so much politics with it. We were building roads and whatnot, and so we worked a lot with the federal and state government agencies and just the bureaucracy and these just people with titles, and they like to push their weight around. It was just always super stressful. You know what? But I learned stuff during that time that I have taken and used to start our own business as a part of my talent stack. And the engineering parts of it with structural engineering, I learned a lot of that during my days as a crane operator. I spent many years while I was a single bachelor running around the country building bridges and steel buildings and all kinds of things as a crane operator. And but being a carpenter is an awesome foundation to add other little elements of knowledge and learning on to create a talent stack that can just totally change your life and change your ability to monetize those talents and create something for yourself.
All right, I am so excited for this here in Chile, Michigan. And the excitement keeps coming because just so you guys know that sometime next week, we will be sending out the first couple chapters of the book to everyone. So, heads up. Bob Davis says, morning, guys from Ontario, Canada. That's so cool, Ontario. Craig says, thumbs up from Newfoundland, Canada.
Awesome.
Love what Aircrete can and will do in the future, and add graphene and get 50% stronger material. Looking to build 3D printed graph Aircrete homes for the north.
You know what? That's not an out to lunch idea, what he just did. Now, that being said, because Aircrete is a liquid and it is so liquid, there's going to have to be a metered injection system and a mixing apparatus at the very end of the hose, and that has to happen on almost every 3D printing cement system that will allow you to put the chemicals in to create a zero slump situation as it comes out of the end of the hose. Meaning it'd be almost like a clay. It would ooze out and then stay in the shape that you left it at its coming out and as the printer moves. That is such exciting technology. And when you think about it, they've already done it with regular high strength cement and concrete. It's just super duper heavy. And they've only done, I think, a building that is 1,000 square feet to date at this point. But with Aircrete, and putting different ends on the nozzles of these 3D printers so you can actually widen out the wall thickness and whatnot, as long as we can get it to where it comes out at a near zero slump, and by the time the printer gets around the house and comes back to make the next layer lift up, it's good enough to support it. You may even have to just print 2 feet a day, so it might take a week to print a home, but man, that's some exciting technology.
Charles is asking Craig G. Lewis, question, do you have a channel? They're wondering if he has a channel to watch because he's doing graphene. He's the
Right.
question you just answered
Mom,
and stuff.
can I have a candy cane?
You want a candy cane? Yes. Thank you for asking, honey.
Okay.
Backwoods Bungalow says, in the 200-year history of the stove, the Darwin rocket mass heater is an amazing evolution, right?
You know what? The thing about it is rock and brick and mortar fireplaces were the norm back in the early 1800s. And then Benjamin Franklin invented the freestanding stove. And it worked way better. And it was way more efficient than any just rock fireplace where 90% of the heat just went right up. However, it did have its downfalls with the creosote and other things. And throughout the, environmental regulations have forced manufacturers to make some minor changes to that freestanding stove. But really, since Benjamin Franklin invented it, nothing huge technology-wise has happened to these freestanding stoves to change them substantially. Just little things like secondary burn areas and catalytic converters have been the only thing, and they still consume huge amounts of fuel, send a lot of heat out through, and they create a lot of creosote. And so those are the things I wanted to eliminate.
Backwoods Bungalow, because I agree with you 100%. His rocket mass heater is an amazing evolution. We just dropped our paperwork. Sorry. Good morning, Darwin and Melanie. So lovely to see you this morning from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. That's so cool. Hey, Tim. DFW Michael says, trying to order the stove plans, but don't see it in Etsy. What's the correct link? How many different aircrete recipes are you now using? We don't have a link set up in Etsy until the book is going to be 100% complete, that people can just hit download and get it and everything. So right now we were selling pre-paid plans on our PayPal account. And to get that, you'd have to send an email asking about it to honeydewcarpenter1@gmail.com.
Just know that if you go ahead and go to honeydewcarpenter1@gmail and say, I buy these prepaid plans, they're $250, which is a screaming good deal. I mean, I have thousands of hours, and I mean, sitting at a computer drawing and putting all this stuff together.
Once it is on Etsy, it is going to go up in price.
It is going to go up in price, but just know that a lot of people prepaid over a month ago, and they're still waiting, but it's just going to be now they're getting the first installment of the chapters for it. So just know you're just going to get the first few chapters and the first installment right away, and then but what's awesome is you'll have an awesome vision and a confidence that, wow, when I get the rest of these chapters, incrementally in the next few weeks, I'll be able to move through this project and I'll be able to do it. I even try and, give people ideas, if they don't have a circle of influence, they know people in certain industries that because of their special talents or whatever, or their skill sets, they would already have those tools and they may help them with certain portions. And I think it's just going to open up the door for a lot of people that have the confidence to think that they can do this project.
Randy Strand says, hey, great seeing you live. I'm rarely able to be here. Randy from Indy. Well, hello, Randy. Oh. We're glad that you made it on. Guy in University says, thumbs up.
Awesome.
You're awesome, Guyan University. Thank you. Blissful Acres Homestead, Off-Grid Homestead says hi.
Hi.
Gary says, great work from Nevada. That's so cool. Roy Young says, hi, Roy from Utah. That graphene coming up, what if you mix the graphene with the foam?
You know what? Graphene, you're talking about nanotechnology here and how the molecular structure of the molecules bond and fold together in the chemical flash-off process of cement setting up. And I got to be honest with you guys, I haven't researched it a ton. I know that they've researched it a ton in different liquid stuff like paints. Like most cars that have a paint job, they're literally, the way the molecules bond together, that whole paint job from on that one finger is one molecule. It's all combined together. And when you're talking about nanotechnology and graphene and inserting it into the mix, I don't know how it would affect it. But it's definitely something worth looking into. And so it's, yeah, it's crazy stuff.
He did say instead of mixing it with the concrete, there's a thought.
Right.
Earl's daughter says, please keep us updated and inspired. Have to go. Have a good day. Thank you.
All right.
Brian says, the catalytic converter is a piece, just a way for the environmentalists to make more money for their cause.
Yeah, and they require maintenance, and they still allow a great deal of creosote to build up. It just slows down, and it's and these stoves traditionally still use tons of fuel, and so a lot of the energy from your wood goes out the chimney. And I've been able to really eliminate that and make it so that this thing will exhaust and flue and work efficiently and have no creosote, essentially, with very little loss of the heat going up the chimney. So
Earl Liverseed says, hi from Maynooth, Ontario. Well, hello. Greg Walker says, hi all. We'll find out what happens when fresh aircrete pour is set out in freezing temps. The block will freeze into its form. Curious how a slow thaw cure will affect the block properties.
I could kind of give you an idea. It's not good. Basically, if you're going to pour aircrete, you want it to have 24 hours to flash off, do its initial chemical reaction, that Portland cement, and get stiff. After that, it's fine. It can freeze and thaw. It doesn't affect it at all, and that's just fine. But if there's still a huge amount of moisture in there, I don't know if you've ever watched under a microscope, watched water freeze and watch how all the molecules kind of, what do you call that? They crystallize and they expand, and they will, break apart the different molecules that you want to be together in the Portland cement. And so I'm guessing it's fine once it's flashed off and set up and got its initial cure. And the temperature being lower will slow down its cure. It won't be able to freeze until it's completely done, at least its initial flash off.
Alan Ingalls gives us a thumbs up. Brian says, my endoskeleton prototype is stronger than regular rebar reinforced concrete.
What?
My endoskeleton prototype is stronger than regular rebar reinforced concrete.
Hey Brian, send me an email, Honeydew Carpenter 1. I want to look at that. I don't know what he's talking about.
That sounds awesome. Earl says, Suave is no longer available in Ontario. Had to order from the U.S. Looking for a substitute.
Okay. I can't remember the name of the main ingredient in Suave, but there's a lot of it in there, and you'll be able to look on a bottle of Suave and tell the ingredient. And there are other soaps out there that have that as a main ingredient. I like Suave because it has a low amount of citric acid in it. So whenever you make your solution with Suave, for every gallon you're going to want to put like a half a teaspoon of baking soda to neutralize the citric acid. Citric acid will slow down the flash off and the initial chemical reaction that allows cement to get stiff. And so that being said, you'll just want to look at that. I can't remember the name of it.
Let me go
Somebody
grab
will
a
come
bottle.
up.
I'll be right back.
Okay. But that main ingredient in Suave is what you're actually looking for. You can actually buy it in a powder form off of Amazon as well. But Yeah, you can just look around at different soaps and find some with that main ingredient.
Here.
Okay.
Blissful Acres Off-Grid Homestead says we want to make a combo Gabon rock basket with aircrete for fence to keep cows out. I think it will be strong enough. I don't understand what that
I
is.
can't read that.
All right, so
That's fine.
sodium, parath sulfate,
That's it. What is that?
cocadropyl, betaine, sodium chloride. So is it the parath
Okay,
sulfate or the
It's
cocamidopropyl?
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
I don't know.
Um,
I did a lot
do you
of
know what the
studying on
combo
that.
Gabon rock basket with aircrete? You know what that means?
Huh.
Okay. Paul says, hello from Iowa. Are all of the gases burnt in the process?
Yeah, it's really incredible actually. You know, when you first start it up, of course there's going to be some gases that are unburnt that go up the chimney, but it only lasts for about 30 to 60 seconds because of how well the stove draws, and it starts rocketing right away. And it creates a negative pressure in the whole burn chamber, which pulls oxygen across the top of the burn chamber, fresh air, so it preheats it, and then it flashes again in the secondary burn area. And I've actually been up on the roof when, this is happening and it's burning, and you can hardly smell it. I mean, you smell it, so it does have some unburnt something in there, but it's so minute that it doesn't even hardly read on a one of those emission carbon air testers.
Guyan University says, from my understanding of what graphene drawback is that at this point they have not been able to produce a long fiber. They are developing it for space elevators.
Right. Yeah, it
That's
isn't.
cool.
It isn't a long fiber. It's not long enough. It's a nano fiber, and it's way microscopic small, and that's just not how Portland cement particles go together.
All right, Greg Walker says 7th generation is cheap, $4.99 in CDN at Safeway.
7th generation also works. It's a plant-based soap. I've never been able to get it to work as well as Suave, but if you do add a little bit of lime with your mix, just a small amount of type S lime, it will stabilize it, and it works pretty good.
Greg Walker says it's 20 ounces. And Alan Ingalls says he thinks it's sodium sulfate.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Something like that.
Beaver Creek Farm Life says sodium laureth sulfate.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sodium laureth sulfate. That's it.
Thank you guys for that help. Bob Davis says, Earl, check out the dollar stores. Greg Walker says sodium lauryl sulfate. Yeah, so that's what it is. So thank you guys so much. Earl Liverseed says, thanks, Bob. They have taken off the shelf in my area. That's sad.
That's one thing that, we have a worldwide platform and channel, and some of the things that I use aren't necessarily available everywhere in the world. If you're in the United States, I think 94% of the population lives within 15 minutes of a Walmart. So,
Blissful Acres Off-Grid Homestead says a gabion is a wire rock basket. Oh. And they're wanting to use that with aircrete to make a fence.
oh,
That sounds cool. MT Pocket says, smiley face from Darwin's theory to Darwin's fact. Much love, you guys, and thank you for all the hard work and sharing.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, MT Pockets. DFW Michael says if anyone is interested in using Drexel 160, a cheapest source that I have found is at Rural King. 8 gallons was just over $200 delivered. Thank you for that, DFW Michael.
Yeah.
Greg says, Craig, follow Rupert Murray Smith for graphite/graphene. Mix 2 to 5% of the graphene powder ink to the foam or cement. Just make sure it's mixed well. If using a 3D printer, may need a fast binding agent.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
Wow.
The agent that helps it flash off and set up really quickly.
All right, so Brian says that the second burn is destroying the hydrocarbons and leaving O2 and O3. And Steven says, did you finish the shed?
Oh yeah, we did. You know what? Maybe we should go over there and do a live show in front of the shed. I know there's some snow on the ground, but oh well. But it's beautiful, guys, with the white trim on the doors and the window and the white trim around the roof. The shed just turned out fan-frickin-tastic.
Right. So Greg says, DFW Michael, wow, that's cheap. Drexel works very well according to our buddy Aircrete Harry. Yes,
Yeah.
he likes Drexel.
He does. And
That's awesome.
he uses it, and it does work well.
Steven says, thank you for the answer. All right, so we're at 41 minutes and we're done with our questions. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
No, just we love you guys and thank you so much. I'm really excited about sending out the first few chapters of the book so that you guys can kind of get some vision for yourself and a sense of confidence that, wow, I think I can move through and do this thing.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
And Beaver Creek Farm Life did say to also check out the label on Drexel because you do have to be a little bit more careful with Drexel. Getting on
You do. I'm
skin and stuff.
I have never promoted Drexel just simply because I was able to get and make a solution with Schwab that as long as you put a half teaspoon of baking soda in it to counteract and neutralize the citric acid in it, it really works super good. It creates strong bubbles. They're plenty strong to allow the aircrete to set up in place. And I just wasn't willing to do the trade-off for something that is meant to be on the human body and not be harmful. And Drexel, it's actually in its concentrated form is flammable. So, I mean, it actually has a flame, a fire retardant portion on its MSDS sheets. And it is somewhat caustic if you get it on your skin. So you have to wear gloves. You have to be very careful with it. But it does work well. And once you do mix it into its solution form, it's no longer harmful. And it's neutralized. And it does create a really good foam. So you can use it. It's about the same price as Suave shampoo. When you take into effect that you only need like 4 ounces of it, or 5 ounces of it for a 5-gallon bucket. But it is a big investment up front. To get a few gallons of it, you have to buy it in like 4 gallons at a time in bulk to get a price that even makes it even close to being as cheap as Schwab. So.
All right, you guys have a great day and we'll talk to you later.
All right.